AITA for blocking my girlfriend after she refused to pick me up from the hospital? My name is Ethan. I'm 30 years old and work as an accountant here in Chicago. I've been with my girlfriend, Chloe, who is 28, for 2 years, and I'm starting to think I'm either the most understanding boyfriend in history or the biggest fool. Chloe works as an event planner, so she's sociable and always incredibly busy. When we started dating, I found it attractive that so many people wanted to be around her. She had an energy that drew everyone in, and I felt lucky to have been chosen by someone so popular and full of life. But at some point, I started to notice a pattern, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. I always come last. Not sometimes, not once in a while. Always. If her best friend, Madison, calls with boy drama, Chloe drops everything, even our dates, and runs over there with a bottle of wine and a pint of ice cream. If her mom wants to go shopping on Michigan Avenue, our weekend plans are instantly canceled. If work needs someone to stay late, Chloe volunteers, even if we already have dinner reservations. At first, I understood, of course. Help your friend. Family comes first. Work is important. We can reschedule. But rescheduling became the norm, and I realized I was the only person in Chloe's life who always had to be flexible and understanding. When Madison needs emotional support, it's an emergency that can't wait. When I want to talk about something that's bothering me, she listens and says, "Let's talk about that later." I'm exhausted. When her mom wants to eat, Chloe clears her entire Saturday schedule. When I suggest spending a day together, she tells me, "Let me check my schedule and see what I can move around." When her coworkers call her to grab some drinks, she's instantly free. When I invite her to my company party, she spends the whole time on her phone and leaves early because Madison is having a crisis. My brother Noah came to visit last month and saw it up close. We were having dinner at my place when Madison called, crying over some guy who wasn't texting her back. Chloe immediately started putting on her sneakers. "Babe, I have to go. Madison is hurting and she needs me. We're in the middle of dinner with my brother," I told her. "Noah will understand, right, Noah? Friend emergencies don't wait." Noah just stared as Chloe gave me a kiss on the cheek and rushed out, leaving her half-eaten meal and a weird silence in the living room. "Damn, man," Noah said to me after she left. "When was the last time she put you before literally anyone else?" I tried to defend her, but I couldn't think of a single example. "She knows I'm understanding," I said. "Being understanding and being invisible aren't the same thing," he replied. That conversation stuck with me for weeks, so I started paying closer attention. What I saw really hit me hard. In the last 3 months, Chloe canceled 14 plans with me. 14. For friends, family, work, her book club, yoga classes, even a last-minute trip to the outlet malls because the sales were too good to miss. The way she answers messages says it all. She replies to Madison instantly. She calls her mom back in less than an hour. She responds quickly to coworkers for work matters. Me? I get a response when she's bored. Usually hours later, sometimes even the next day. Last week was our 2-year anniversary. We had planned to have dinner at a restaurant in River North I'd wanted to try for months. I made the reservation 3 weeks in advance. I even left work early. 2 hours before our dinner, my phone rang. "Babe, I am so sorry, but Madison just got stood up and she's a complete wreck." "Chloe, it's our anniversary." "I know, and I feel terrible, but she really needs me right now. You understand, right? We'll celebrate tomorrow." That's when it hit me. Madison's dating drama was more important than our 2-year anniversary. A friend's temporary sadness was worth more than our special date. I sat alone in that restaurant, having dinner on our anniversary while my girlfriend was consoling someone else. The waitress kept asking if I was waiting for someone. I didn't know how to explain that yes, I was, but she wasn't going to show up. Update 1. Work has been crazy this week, but I had to write this because the comments on my last post really opened my eyes to how bad things had gotten. After the anniversary disaster, I decided to write everything down instead of just thinking I was going crazy. I started logging on my phone every time Chloe canceled on me or chose someone else over me. The data is disheartening. In the last month, the pattern became impossible to ignore and increasingly painful. She canceled our weekend trip to Lake Geneva, which we had been planning for weeks, because her mom suddenly decided she wanted to buy furniture and needed Chloe's opinion on dining tables. On a day that was supposed to be a quiet movie night together, She got up halfway through the film because Madison had a stupid fight with her roommate and needed immediate emotional support. When my company's end-of-year party came around, an event I was looking forward to for introducing her to my colleagues, she just didn't go. She said her book club had an emergency meeting to pick the next book, as if choosing a novel were as urgent as a medical crisis. And the worst part, she postponed our dinner 3 times in a row, always saying she had to work late, only for me to see her Instagram stories those same nights, laughing and drinking with her coworkers. The final blow was when she completely forgot about our Sunday together. She had agreed to help a colleague move without even telling me first, leaving me alone in the apartment, wondering when I had become so forgettable in my own relationship. But what struck me the most was realizing how she talked about our plans compared to requests from others. With me, it was always, let me see if I can fit it in. Maybe we can do something. If nothing better comes up, I'll try to be free. With anyone else, it was, of course, I'll be there. Count on me for whatever you need. I was literally her plan B. This became crystal clear at her company party last weekend. She had been talking about the event for weeks, excited to introduce me to her colleagues and show off the venue she had organized herself. When we arrived, I saw a different version of her. With others, she was energetic, attentive, enthusiastic. She truly seemed like a different person. To me, she introduced me like this. This is Ethan, my boyfriend. It was dry, simple, with no flair. But when she introduced Madison, it was, this is Madison, my best friend. The one I told you about. The one who just got promoted. She's amazing. I stood there watching her give more excitement to people she had met 5 minutes ago than she had given me in weeks. The breaking point was when we were talking to her boss about the event. I mentioned that I had helped her practice the presentation for that project. Her boss was interested, but she cut me off immediately. Oh, Ethan is just being sweet. He doesn't really understand much about the creative process. She minimized me in front of her boss as if it were embarrassing that I had been involved. Later, when a late Madison arrived, Chloe left me mid-conversation and ran to greet her like she was a celebrity. I spent the rest of the party watching my girlfriend give everyone the version of herself I had fallen in love with. While with me, she acted like I was just an accessory. We left early because Madison was nervous she might run into her ex. He didn't even show up, and the entire ride home, she was just scrolling through his Instagram. In the car, I tried to talk to her about how I felt at the party. You're being too sensitive, Chloe told me. I didn't minimize you. I was just being professional. You never talk about my help as something important in front of others. Because I know you understand me. I don't need to put on a show for you like I do with people from work. That sentence hit me hard. I wasn't getting the best of her because I wasn't important enough for her to make an effort. I was getting the worst of her because I would put up with it. That's not what I meant. You know I love you. It's just that with you, I don't have to pretend. But that was exactly it. Everyone else got her charm, her spark, her effort. I was left with whatever was left over after she spent her energy on the people who truly mattered to her. When we got home, I did something I had never done before. I confronted her directly. Chloe, when was the last time you chose me over someone else? She instantly got defensive. That's not fair. You know how important my friendships and family are to me. And what about us? We live together, Ethan. We see each other every day. Living together isn't the same as choosing to spend real time with me. You're being so needy. I thought you were different from those guys who get jealous of their girlfriend's friends. And there was the label, the accusation that wanting to be a basic priority in the relationship made me needy and jealous. It hit me hard. In that moment, I understood that Chloe had trained me to accept crumbs, convincing me that asking for more made me a bad boyfriend. Edit. A lot of people are asking why I didn't just end it. To be honest, until I started noticing everything, I thought maybe I was the problem. 2 years of hearing you're too needy for wanting attention makes you doubt your own needs. Update 2. I had to step away from this forum for a few days because what happened next destroyed any illusion I still had about this relationship. On Tuesday night, I was coming home from work when I slipped on some ice in our building's parking garage. I fell hard and knew instantly that something was wrong with my wrist. The pain was sharp, and I couldn't move it without almost shouting. I called Chloe from the garage. Babe, I'm in the parking garage, and I think I broke my wrist. I slipped on the ice and I can't drive. Can you come take me to the emergency room? Oh, that sucks. But I'm literally at Madison's house. helping her process her therapy session. She's having a huge breakthrough about her relationship patterns, and we're in the middle of a very deep conversation. I stood there, in real pain, listening to my girlfriend tell me that her friend's therapy recap was more important than my possibly broken bone. Chloe, I think I need medical attention. You can call an Uber or ask a neighbor for help. I really can't leave right now. Madison is finally opening up about her childhood trauma. She hung up on me while I was hurt, alone, and just asking for help from my girlfriend of 2 years. I called my brother Noah, who lives across town. He left work instantly and came to get me and take me to the ER. The x-ray showed a fractured wrist that would need to be in a cast for 6 weeks. While they were putting the cast on, I got a text from Chloe. Hey, hope you're feeling better. Madison and I ended up talking until 2 a.m. It was an incredible breakthrough. No apology, no acknowledgement that she had left me stranded during a medical emergency, just a report on how incredible her night had been. I didn't reply. The next day, Wednesday, I was trying to work with one hand when I went for coffee on my lunch break. That's where I met Riley. I was struggling to hold my cup and my laptop bag with one hand when a woman asked if I needed help. Looks like you're having a rough day, she said, looking at my cast. Rough week, actually, I replied. We ended up talking for the entire break. Her name is Riley. She's a nurse at a clinic nearby. When I told her how I ended up in the ER, she was shocked. Wait, you called your girlfriend about a possible fracture, and she said no. She had other priorities, I said, the words tasting bitter. More important than your injury? What could possibly be more important? I ended up telling her the whole story about Madison, and Riley just looked at me. Are you telling me she preferred to talk about someone else's therapy session instead of taking you to the doctor? When she put it like that, it sounded absurd. Because it was absurd. We exchanged numbers and agreed to get coffee again. For the first time in months, I was excited to spend time with someone who seemed genuinely interested in listening to me. Thursday night, Chloe finally brought up what happened. I feel bad about Tuesday. How's your wrist? It's broken. Seriously? I thought you were exaggerating. Exaggerating about a broken bone, Chloe? I called you during a medical emergency, and you chose Madison. That's not fair. Madison was in crisis, too. Mental health is just as important as physical health. She was talking about her therapy. I was injured and needed immediate help. You could have called anyone. Madison needed me specifically. That sentence made everything clear. In Chloe's head, I was replaceable. Anyone could help me, but only she could help Madison. Why do you think that is? I asked. Because Madison and I have a special bond. She trusts me with her deepest feelings. And what do we have? She looked confused. We have a relationship. It's different. Different how? I don't need to prove anything to you. You already love me. And there it was. The core truth was simple. Chloe put effort into the relationships where she had to earn approval and relaxed in the one where approval was already guaranteed. I was her emotional safety net, not her priority. Edit. For those asking about Riley, we've gotten coffee twice more since then. She actually listens when I talk and then brings up things I mentioned days before. It's amazing how good it feels to have someone's full attention. Final update. I had to get a new phone after Chloe threw mine against the wall during our breakup, but this time away from social media has been good for my head. Thank you to everyone who followed this story and made me see that I wasn't crazy for wanting a bare minimum of consideration. The final straw came exactly 1 week after my wrist incident. Chloe had planned a girls' night with Madison on Friday, which was normal for me by then. I had gotten used to spending my weekend nights alone. But on Friday afternoon, Madison canceled because she got asked out on a last-minute date. Suddenly, Chloe was free and wanted to hang out with me. Babe, Madison ditched me for some guy, so it looks like it's just you and me tonight. Let's order some pizza and watch Netflix. The casual way she said it, as if I were the backup plan now that the first option had failed, made something inside me just snap. Actually, I already have plans tonight, I told her. Plans? You never have plans on Fridays. I'm having dinner with Riley. That got her attention instantly. Who is Riley? A friend I met at the coffee shop. We've been talking since I broke my wrist. Since you broke your wrist? You've been seeing some random woman and didn't tell me. The irony was immense. She was angry that I made a friend while she had spent 2 years prioritizing everyone but me. Riley isn't random. She's someone who actually makes time for me. Chloe's face hardened. What's that supposed to mean? It means that when I told her about my wrist, She offered to help. She didn't tell me to call an Uber so she could keep talking about someone else's therapy. That's different. Madison was having an emotional crisis, and I was having a medical emergency. Guess which one you considered more important? We had the fight that was 2 years overdue. I laid out every canceled plan. Every time she chose someone else. Every moment I felt like an afterthought in my own relationship. Her response was exactly what I expected, that I was needy, jealous, and unfair. She couldn't believe I was keeping score and punishing her for having other relationships. I thought you were different from other guys, she said. I thought you understood that I needed space to maintain my friendships and my family. Space, Chloe? I don't need space from you. I need a little of your time. Your real time. Just a little. Not all of it. Not even most of it. Just enough to feel like I matter. You do matter to me. That's why I'm so comfortable with you. You're the only person I don't have to act for. And that's exactly the problem. Everyone else gets your best effort. I get what's left over because you know I'll take it. That's when she completely lost it. Fine. If I'm such a horrible girlfriend, then go be with Riley. See if she's as understanding as I am when you get boring and predictable. Boring and predictable, I repeated. Is that how you see me? I didn't mean that. Yes, you did. And that's okay, because Riley doesn't see me as boring. She finds me interesting enough to remember what I say and ask about it later. She sees me as someone worth prioritizing. You barely know her. I know that she has never made me feel like I'm competing for scraps of her attention. I moved out that same weekend. Noah helped me pack everything while Chloe alternated between crying and screaming that I was abandoning her and throwing away 2 years for nothing. The irony of her using the word abandoning wasn't lost on me. Since I left, my life has improved so much. I sleep better. I'm no longer living with anxiety, waiting for the next cancellation. And I'm excited to spend time with someone again. Riley and I have been on several real dates. Dates where she shows up on time, puts her phone away, and acts like she actually wants to be there. She remembers things I tell her about work and asks how my projects are going. She makes plans with me and keeps them. Last week, a friend invited her to a last-minute concert on the same night we had dinner planned. Riley's response was simple. Thanks, but I already have plans. I almost cried hearing someone choose me over a better option. The contrast is gigantic. With Chloe, I spent 2 years being grateful for any crumb of attention. With Riley, I'm learning what it's like to be someone's choice, not their consolation prize. Chloe has been asking about me through mutual friends, trying to understand where it all went wrong. Apparently, even Madison herself told her she had become too dependent on her friends and needed to invest more in her romantic relationships. Too late. Last week, Chloe sent me a direct message. I've been thinking about us and I realized I might have taken you for granted. I wanted to talk about trying again. I showed the message to Riley. She said, "It's funny how she only realized your worth after you stopped giving it away for free." That was exactly it. Chloe didn't miss the person. She missed having someone who was always available, always understanding, and always willing to come in last place. I replied to her, "I'm not available to talk about that. I'm busy building a relationship with someone who treats me like a priority." She didn't respond. Edit. For those asking about Riley, we're taking things slow, but it's going incredibly well. She's meeting my family next week, and for the first time, I'm excited about that, not anxious. Comment. It's so easy to get used to being someone's second choice, especially when you care about them. But I hope this story reminds you that your feelings are valid and your needs matter. Setting boundaries isn't about being unkind to others. It's about being kind to yourself. It takes a lot of courage to choose your own peace over a familiar pattern of disappointment. You can't control how others treat you, but you always have the power to decide what you will accept. True healing begins when you stop waiting for someone else to see your worth and start living like you believe it. A healthy partnership should be your safe harbor, not a constant competition for attention. Remember to be patient with yourself during this process. You deserve to be a priority, not an option. Always remember that choosing yourself is the first step toward finding someone who will choose you too. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.